Wag the Dog is a 1997 film directed by Barry Levinson. It's written by Hilary Henkin and David Mamet, and we have a cast including Dustin Hoffman, Robert De Niro, Woody Harrelson. It's because of Woody Harrelson that I became aware of this, and when I read the description, I kind of thought, it doesn't sound like my kind of film. And there are plenty of times when I watch a film that doesn't sound like my kind of film, and it actually ends up being really great for me. This isn't one of those films. So I will say, I didn't like it, and I will give specific reasons. I won't give any spoilers, though. I won't go into any spoiler detail. But it is worth pointing out that on IMDb, at least, it has 7.1 out of 10 across 90,000 reviews and ratings. I always say with ratings online, watch it and come to your own conclusion. Don't just base it on ratings. But I'm mentioning that specifically because I'm about to say I didn't like it, but it seems like a lot of people do. So if it sounds like it appeals to you, even though personally I'm not really recommending it, it does seem like there's going to be an audience for this. And the film it's a comedy drama. Honestly, I didn't find it very funny, definitely more dramatic, but it might appeal to some people's comedy tastes. And it's about a fake war that is created to cover up a sex scandal that the president is in. At the start of the film, we learn about this scandal, and a spin doctor and a Hollywood producer team up to create this elaborate lie about a fictional war in Albania and how, of course, the president is caught up in this. And I don't like that. And there are two reasons why I don't like that. First of all, I just found the events in the film to be kind of boring for me, not that interesting. I didn't think most of the characters were that interesting. There is one I like, and I'll mention them in a moment, but in general, the events of the film and the characters didn't interest me. But the other reason I didn't like this is because that just whole concept of convincing the general public that there is a war happening just leaves me feeling quite sick. I know it's a film, I know it's fake, I know it's fiction, but obviously when you watch films, part of the great experience, for many people at least, is to become immersed in that world and to feel the emotions of the characters and to imagine that it's actually happening. So when I'm imagining that this is happening, it just leaves me feeling really uneasy and really uncomfortable. I'm really against lies and pranks, and it's not quite a prank, but that kind of thing where people are lying to the extreme. Telling people there's a war happening, even if it's not on their doorstep, is a pretty big deal. And I feel like I just couldn't get behind that part of the narrative. The whole concept made me feel uneasy. As I said, I know it's fiction, but when I watch films, I like to be immersed in them. And being immersed in this world just didn't work well for me. But even taking that out of the equation, as I said, the actual specifics of the narrative, I didn't really care for. It's not that it's badly written in the sense that the pacing is bad or it doesn't flow well or I don't believe the characters' actions or anything. Everything is generally well written. Just for me, not interesting. But as I said, it seems to be pretty well received based on online ratings. So if it sounds like your kind of thing, it might be worth watching. It is actually loosely based on the 1993 novel American Hero by Larry Beinhardt. I haven't read it, but if you have any thoughts on that, please feel free to share. With regard to the one character I quite liked, that is the Hollywood producer, which might be an obvious thing for me to say, to be fair. He's played by Dustin Hoffman, and I did quite like the character. Not enough for me to say I loved part of the film, but out of all of the characters, he's really the only one where I thought, yeah, you're quite interesting. I'm keen to see what your contribution here is. So that for me was really the only positive based on my personal tastes. But as I said, not really badly written. I still think it's quite dull. But if somebody wants to say that actually it really appeals to their personal tastes, I can understand that. The performances, no problems. I just don't think the characters are that interesting. And as a concept, just for me personally, it just doesn't sit right. So Wag the Dog isn't one for me. It's not badly done necessarily, but it's not to my tastes. It seems to be well received though, so if it sounds like it might work for you, check it out, but it's definitely not one for me.